Welcome to our channel. Today, we're delving into one of humanity's oldest and most profound questions. Why are we here? This question has fascinated scientists, philosophers, and curious minds throughout history. In this video, we'll explore theories about the origin of humanity, from scientific explanations to philosophical perspectives. Whether you're a science enthusiast or just intrigued by the mysteries of life, stay with us as we uncover possible answers to humanity's true origin. What if humanity's beginning isn't quite what we've been told? What if the story of Paradise Lost isn't just a poetic metaphor, but a deliberate cover-up? Today, we're diving into a mind-bending question. Who or even what were the first humans really? We all know the classic image from the Bible, humanity starting in paradise, with Adam and Eve living in the Garden of Eden in perfect harmony with God. But let's pause for a second. Could the story really be that simple? This isn't some fairy tale. It's an ancient text, loaded with hidden meanings, contradictions, and clues that have been overlooked for centuries. Let's start with the first clue, Genesis. It doesn't exactly present humans as equals to God. Instead, Adam and Eve are placed in paradise, but on very strict terms. They're given one rule: you can eat anything except for that fruit. Imagine being put in a room with a big red button labeled "Do Not Press." Why set things up that way? Was it a test or a form of control? And let's be honest, that's not how you'd treat perfect beings or beloved children. Then comes the snake. But this wasn't just any snake. It was the serpent, a symbol echoing across ancient myths long before the Bible was written. In some cultures, the serpent represents wisdom, even liberation. So, what's it doing in the Garden of Eden? Tempting Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge, not the tree of sin, but of knowledge. Knowledge of good and evil, of self and God. It's the very thing that seems to bring humanity closer to divinity. Here's where it gets really interesting. The way the story is written, it's as if God didn't want humanity to have this knowledge. Adam and Eve eat the fruit. Their eyes are opened. And what's the first thing God does? He casts them out of the garden, not because they hurt anyone, not because they lied or stole, but because they gained awareness. So, was the garden truly a paradise, or was it a cage? And if it was a cage, who was the warden? Then there's the kicker. Humanity isn't just punished through Adam and Eve. All of humanity is condemned because of this one act. This single decision to seek knowledge leads to endless suffering for every generation that follows. When you look at it from another angle, it almost sounds like, think about it. What if humanity was never meant to be free? What if our pursuit of knowledge threw a wrench in a plan designed to keep us under control? This brings us to the ultimate question. What if Adam and Eve weren't the first humans, but the first rebels, the first to question, to seek truth instead of blindly obeying? In a way, they became symbols for anyone who dares to challenge the boundaries around them. But the story we're given makes it sound like they failed, like they were wrong. Yet maybe, just maybe, Thal wasn't a failure at all. What if it was humanity's first step toward freedom? Here's another layer to consider. Some ancient texts suggest that the garden wasn't a paradise at all, but a trial, a test. What if humanity was supposed to break free, to seek knowledge, to defy the rules, to escape a controlled paradise? In Gnostic traditions, for example, the serpent isn't a villain. It's a liberator, the one who helps humanity step into their own power, separate from any controlling force. So, was Eden really a paradise or a cage? Were Adam and Eve victims of a cosmic setup, or the first champions of human freedom? What if the fall wasn't just a mistake, but humanity's first act of defiance? What does that say about the story we've been told for thousands of years? Ever felt like the world around you doesn't quite add up? Like there's some hidden hand pulling the strings behind the scenes? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're diving into one of the most controversial theories out there. What if the God described in the Old Testament isn't the all-benevolent creator we've been led to believe? Trust me, This will change the way you see everything. In Gnostic beliefs, there's a fascinating idea about a figure called the Demiurge. But forget what you know about typical gods, this one's different. The Demiurge isn't a benevolent creator. Think of it more like a cosmic architect, a lesser god who is both flawed and deeply insecure. According to this perspective, the Demiurge is the one who actually created our material world. But here's the twist. It's not interested in humanity's freedom or enlightenment. It's all about power, control, and keeping us in the dark. If that sounds shocking, let's take a fresh look at the Old Testament. The God there isn't exactly the picture of a loving creator. He's often depicted as intense, vengeful, even jealous. He wipes out entire cities, think about it. Floods that drown entire cities, punishing generations, and laws designed to keep humanity in check. If this God is one of pure love and mercy, why all the punishment? Why so many rules meant to control us? It starts to sound less like a nurturing creator and more like a ruler protecting his own authority. The Gnostics had a bold belief. They said the Demiurge intentionally created a flawed, limited world, a world that keeps us distracted, focused on survival, and ignorant of our true potential. Sound familiar? Isn't that how many of us feel today, constantly chasing after the next step just to survive, while the deeper truths and greater knowledge seem to slip further and further away? To the Gnostics, this wasn't just some unfortunate situation, it was by design. They even had a name for it, the prison of matter. The Demiurge, they claimed, trapped souls in physical bodies, chaining us to desires, fears, and the endless cycle of birth and death. But here's where it gets even more radical. The Gnostics believed that beyond this false creator lies the true divine source, pure, boundless, and absolutely unreachable by the Demiurge. In their view, the God of the Old Testament wasn't the ultimate creator at all. He was more like a middle manager running a flawed system. Imagine this, a creator with a limited kingdom, jealous and furious if anyone dares to look beyond his authority. What if the implications are far more disturbing than we've been led to believe? If the Gnostics are right, we're living in a world that was designed to keep us small, to keep us obedient, and to keep us from connecting with the true divine source. The creator we feared for thousands of years might actually be the one working to keep humanity in line, rather than setting us free. This isn't just some ancient theory, it's a concept that resonates deeply today. A world built on control, fear, and rules that don't make sense, yet we're expected to follow them. And the most chilling part? We've been taught to see this as normal, even holy. We've all heard the story of angels and demons, good versus evil, right? But what if I told you there's a hidden chapter in humanity's history, one that's dark and twisted? A story about angels who didn't just fall from heaven, but left something behind. Something that's inside of us. Let's talk about the Nephilim. This race of beings is often overlooked, but they might be the key to understanding who or what we really are. In the book of Genesis, there's a strange and often there's a passage in the Bible that's often glossed over, but it holds a shocking secret. It talks about the sons of God's celestial beings, angels who came down to earth and took human wives. The offspring of these unions were giants, massive, not just in size, but beings with a strange blend of divine and human traits. They were known as the Nephilim, and their existence was considered such a threat that God supposedly sent a flood to wipe them out. But here's where it gets even more mind-boggling. Some believe not all the Nephilim were destroyed. There's a theory that suggests their bloodline, the blood of the fallen ones, didn't vanish in the flood. Instead, it mingled with humanity. That means, according to some interpretations, we might carry remnants of this hybrid lineage within us, part human, part something else. Now, think about that for a moment, the blood of angels or fallen beings running through human veins. What does that make us? Are we just the descendants of Adam and Eve, or could we have a far stranger origin? And here's where things get even more fascinating. Across ancient civilizations, countless cultures have myths of giants, semi-divine beings, and powerful figures with extraordinary wisdom and abilities who once roamed the earth. What if they were talking about the Nephilim? What if giants and demigods really did walk among us? In fact, some of the world's greatest myths suggest that humans are descended from gods or giants. And if the Nephilim were real, could they be the source of these legendary stories? Were they the giants, the heroes, the demigods of myth? Some researchers believe the evidence of these beings is all around us: ancient megalithic structures, impossible architecture, and knowledge of astronomy and mathematics that seems centuries, if not millennia, ahead of its time. Could this advanced knowledge have come from the Nephilim or their descendants? That they left behind a legacy of understanding that humanity is still struggling to fully grasp? But let's take it a step further. What if these Nephilim descendants, carrying that supernatural knowledge and power, didn't vanish at all? What if they helped shape the course of human civilization? Could certain bloodlines or groups have held onto this divine heritage, passing it down through the generations? Some even argue that our obsession with royal bloodlines and noble ancestry might trace all the way back to these ancient stories. Imagine an elite lineage, one that carries the echoes of divine knowledge and power, passed down through centuries. There's a concept that runs through history, myth, and even our modern-day obsessions, an idea that some bloodlines are connected to something far beyond ordinary humanity. And if this bloodline does exist, it raises a chilling question: are some of us closer to this ancient legacy than others? What if the Nephilim's influence still lingers today? Could the supernatural abilities, the wisdom, or even the ambition of these giants still be alive within certain individuals or groups? And if so, are these powers being used to benefit humanity, or could they be part of a much darker agenda? What if some of humanity's greatest achievements weren't just the result of brilliant minds, but of hidden forces, lost cities, forbidden knowledge, and truths we were never meant to uncover? Think of the names Babel, Sodom, Atlantis. These weren't just cities. They were symbols of human potential and ambition, cities that reached for the stars in ways that almost seemed supernatural. Let's start with Babel. The Bible tells us that humanity, united in speaking one language, built a tower that would reach the heavens. But when God saw what they were doing, He shut it down, scattered humanity, and confused their language. Why? What were they really building, and what did it represent? Now, ask yourself, why was the Tower of Babel such a threat? If humans were just primitive beings fumbling around in the dirt, why would a tower matter to a divine being? Some believe that Babel wasn't just a tower. It could have been a center of knowledge, a hub where humans were unlocking the secrets of the universe. Knowledge that had the potential to break the boundaries set for us. Advanced technology, maybe even the ability to tap into energies we can barely understand. When God intervened, it wasn't just to stop a construction project, it was to restrict access to something humanity wasn't supposed to touch: forbidden knowledge. And it doesn't stop there. Think about Sodom and Gomorrah. These cities weren't destroyed just because of wickedness, as we've been told. Some interpretations suggest these were centers of experimentation, places where humanity was beginning to toy with the natural order itself. The Bible talks about the sin of these cities, but ancient texts hint that this goes far beyond mere moral corruption. It could have involved the very secrets of life itself, the knowledge of creation, maybe even genetic manipulation. It's as if these cities were holding a forbidden science, a pathway to power that could unravel the very fabric of what was allowed. And so, they were erased, scorched off the face of the earth as a warning. Now let's talk about Atlantis. While it's not mentioned directly in the Bible, think about this. Nearly every ancient culture has a legend of a golden civilization that fell. In Plato's writings, Atlantis was an advanced society destroyed by a great flood because of its arrogance and misuse of power. Sound familiar? Atlantis and Babel, two stories of humanity reaching too high, getting too close to godlike knowledge, only to be struck down. Some scholars even speculate that Atlantis wasn't just a single city, but a network of civilizations with shared knowledge. Knowledge we still see hints of today in ancient Egypt, Sumeria, and Mesoamerica. These civilizations built structures we can't fully explain, like the pyramids and Stonehenge. They had alignments with stars, knowledge of solar cycles, and mathematical precision that seems far beyond their time. It defies everything we're told was possible back then. Where did these ancient civilizations get this knowledge? Who taught them to build in ways that still leave modern science scratching its head? And here's the crazy part. There are those who believe remnants of this forbidden knowledge are still out there, hidden in secret societies, encoded in symbols, and passed down through elite bloodlines. Think about the obelisks, the sacred geometry, the strange symbols scattered across ancient and modern monuments. What if these aren't just relics, but clues left behind by those who still carry fragments of that ancient wisdom? The Bible, the myths, the legends, they all seem to point to one thing. Somewhere in our past, humanity had access to knowledge so powerful it challenged the very fabric of reality. A wisdom that allowed us to transcend, to create, to understand the universe in ways most of us can barely imagine. But something or someone put an end to it. Now, all that's left are fragments, stories, and warnings telling us not to pursue what we've lost. Let's go back to one of the oldest civilizations on record, ancient Sumeria. These people left us with some of the most detailed and intriguing clues. Let's start with the most widely accepted scientific view, evolutionary theory. According to Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection, life evolved over millions of years. Humans are thought to have descended from primates, adapting and changing through various environmental pressures. This idea is supported by fossil records, DNA comparisons, and evolutionary biology, which trace our lineage back to common ancestors with other primates. Evolution offers a detailed framework for understanding physical changes in human form, but some argue it only explains the how rather than the why of our existence. So while evolution provides critical insights into our physical development, it leaves open questions about our purpose. Next, let's zoom out to a much larger scale with the Big Bang Theory. Scientists believe the universe began around 13.8 billion years ago, in an event known as the Big Bang. Over billions of years, stars, planets, and galaxies formed, eventually giving rise to Earth and later to life. Some scientists suggest that life on Earth, and possibly even human beings, are products of cosmic conditions, a chain of events that made Earth uniquely capable of sustaining life. This cosmic perspective highlights how interconnected we are with the universe, yet it doesn't fully explain why consciousness arose or what purpose humanity may serve. Science isn't the only lens through which we view our origins. Religious and spiritual beliefs offer distinct interpretations of humanity's purpose. For instance, many religions propose that a divine being or universal consciousness created humanity with intention and purpose. This belief can be found in traditions such as Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. According to these perspectives, we're here not by accident, but by design, with a purpose tied to spiritual growth, service, or enlightenment. While these ideas may not be provable in a scientific sense, they resonate with billions who seek meaning beyond material explanations. Another fascinating theory, gaining traction among scientists and philosophers alike, is simulation theory. Proposed by philosopher Nick Bostrom, this theory suggests that humanity and the universe might be a sophisticated simulation created by advanced beings. Imagine that we're essentially characters in a high-tech video game, with our thoughts, emotions, and experiences coded by some higher intelligence. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, you will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and as sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and a sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blesovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.